Hi, I'm Tylee, and for those of you that don't know me, I'm one of the personal trainers that works for Warrior Wellness Fitness Studio online. And we have a theme for our monthly challenge has a theme every single month. For April, it's healthy mind, healthy life. And I know Jennifer is really teaching the ladies about meditation and other coping mechanisms to deal with the stress of life. I wanted to talk about how food can affect your mood, behavior. So we're going to be talking about how sugar affects dopamine and how B vitamins affect serotonin. We're also going to be talking about foods that improve memory and cognition and how being deficient in B vitamins or omega-3 fatty acids can drastically affect your mood. And they've studied this in rats, hamsters, and people. They've done research studies on all of it. I have a lot of information to go over today, so I'm going to try my best to get all the information to you. B vitamins help to boost serotonin and affect behavior and mood positively, decreasing anxiety and depression. And omega-3 fatty acids build the brain tissue and prevent deterioration because, of course, the brain is made out of what? Fat. Alright, so I'm going to talk about why I think food is cool. First off, see how it has like two sides or lobes and all the bumps? Kind of like a brain. And walnuts have omega-3 fatty acids, and we're going to talk about why that's good for your brain. So when I was in college, I did 3 presentations, and the first one was about trans fats. And of course, that's something that affects your heart. But the second one was about MSG, and the third one was about aspartame. And both of those can affect your brain. So we know that certain chemicals and food additives can affect your brain. But what about food? How can food affect your brain? Can food influence your thoughts and decisions? So if you are part of our monthly challenge, then I've already posted this documentary, and I will be sending you a list of foods that are high in omega-3s, B vitamins, and antioxidants, because this is like the 3 things you need for your brain. So I'll be sending that to you. Here's the documentary in DVD form. It is called A Healthy Diet for a Healthy Brain. And I just want everybody to watch it. Like, they have 3 different research studies in here that blew my mind. So I'll let you watch it if you want to know the one about how eating protein for breakfast versus carbs for breakfast changed behavior. But I'll let you watch that one. But I do want to talk about the one that they did on mice that were deficient in omega-3s. So trying to figure out how I want to do this. I guess we're going to talk about omega-3s, and then we'll talk about sugar, and then we'll talk about B vitamins. So they basically had a control. They had mice that were not deficient in omega-3s, and when they would put them into a box, a normal rat would sort of investigate and be curious and just kind of check out their surroundings in the lighted area. Well, this box had one dark corner, and when they put a rat in there that was deficient in omega-3 fatty acid, it literally went and sat in the dark corner. And it was stressed and anxious. So I think that shows that when your brain doesn't have what it needs, it can affect your mood, and it can affect anxiety and depression. So that one was really interesting to me. Again, you know, the omega-3s are going to build neurons, and that's good. So what are some things that aren't so helpful for the brain? What is actually not good? Another research study that's in this documentary is they did a study on 23,000 children in Australia, and they just kind of followed them from when they were born until they were like 3 or 4, and they were paying attention to what they ate, and they discovered that there is a link between dietary quality and mood problems in children. So I'm going to try my best to kind of describe why that might happen. Well, first and foremost, when you have a diet that's excessively high in bad fat and refined sugar, neither one of those have nutrients. So neurons become deficient. So that's number 1. Number 2 reason why my sugar would cause mood problems would be because if we were living foraging out in nature and we came across a ripe piece of fruit, that would be a good thing because it would be ripe, it would be at its peak as having all the vitamins that it needs, and it would be a good thing. But we live in a world where there are a bunch of packaged foods that have refined sugar, a whole bunch of refined sugar, and when we eat that, our brain picks that up as, hey, this is a good thing, and we get like a hit of dopamine from that. The more we eat, the more we want. And what I mean by that is, so they did this study on people, and they gave them a lunch, and then they offered them a snack afterwards, and it was a high fat, high sugar snack. And so the people who were used to a high fat, high sugar diet, they ate their lunch and then they wanted the snack too. But the people who weren't used to a high fat, high sugar diet, they ate their lunch and then they were full and they weren't hungry anymore and they didn't want the snack. So the point being is that the more you eat, the more you want. And the only way I can sort of describe that is if you gave someone who didn't normally smoke cigarettes a cigarette, they wouldn't immediately want like another one because they'd be like, they're not really used to that. The reward, that's what I wanted to say, was that repeated activation of the reward pathways in the brain leads to more. So if you, someone that is used to smoking is going to want another cigarette, right? It's the same with sugar. If you're used to having a Snickers, you're going to want another Snickers. But if you're just eating a normal diet without refined sugars or high fat or things like that, your cue for your body is going to be that, well, I'm full, I'm not really hungry anymore. But your brain changes when you have a high sugar diet. So I thought that was interesting. Neurons become deficient because sugar doesn't have B vitamins. We are going to talk about B vitamins next. So I think I already said this. I'm going to be sending a list out of foods that are high in B vitamins, high in omega-3s, and high in antioxidants if you are a member of our challenge group. So one of the foods that are high in B vitamins are dark leafy greens, and they contain folate, a B vitamin that helps your brain make the mood steadying hormone serotonin. So maybe that's why, maybe you need more of serotonin instead of that hit of dopamine, because B vitamins help your brain make serotonin. That's really going to affect your mood and your brain, your mood, your behavior. So, my last little recommendation here is that you want to get 1 cup of dark leafy greens in per day, and also try to limit your sugar no more than 25 grams per day, which is equivalent to about 6 teaspoons of sugar per day. Once you start getting over that, then you're going to start wanting more and more sugar. So that becomes a dopamine hit cycle, basically, and you build up a tolerance. And in order to get away from that, you're going to have to, it's like with salt too. If you eat less salt or less sugar, then you really don't need as much as you did before. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know, and Thanks for talking about food with me. Bye.